Cold or hot?
It's more than cold. Beyond cold.
At least the pipes aren't frozen.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. So, on earth, we do eagle eye. Right? On heaven, we call one flower has 5 petals. That's called 119. Okay? Because right Dharma eye, Tripitaka. That's called Hollywood, Jane Wood. Old mirror. You gotta, you on this one all the time. On, because on time means there is time, there is no time. Two of them. There is time means on earth matters. Form is emptiness. Emptiness means form disappeared to get emptiness. Form is empty. The galaxy matters. This is called samsara life. Birth and death, repeating. This time and emptiness, both of them gotta get over. And they turn into emptiness is form. Emptiness is form. The solar system matters. We're talking about solar system. Enlightenment, we're dealing with solar system, not galaxy matters. Galaxy is called 12 causality, beginning with ignorance. Ignorance and acting. Ignorance acting into 6 consciousness. That's a 12 time ago. Later ago, birth and death disappeared into eternal hell. Forever ignorance. Therefore, samsara life. Samsara means eye, ear, nose. 3 in the day. Light, not heavy duty. Light mind. And then their tongue and then body, skin, and meaning. The 3 called hell and then ghost and animals. Heavy mind. That's called 6th world. 6th world is not out of your mind. Your 6 consciousness are like 6 animals put in the same one stream. There's a half of the 3 and the heaven and earth and the asura. Asura means competing, fighting. In the Middle East, war going on. World War I, World War II, war going on. War going on not just on world. War going on your family, war going on your society, war going on your life, and war going on your personal thought, thinking, same thing. It's constant called asura, competing each other. Your mind is thinking this meditation, this side, middle ways, the other, left, right sides to do that. That's all the fighting over. philosophy means fighting over thought words that make your brain very, very hard disk working so hard and sometimes stop. You just and out of order means you need to belong to mental case or physical case. That happens. The physical case happening hospital, mental physical prescription matters NIH, and the mental case means psychologist or some religious. One God dictators. That's psychology matters. Mind matters. In believe in emptiness. That's one empty. There's no ego, no personality, no existence, no separate individuality. One God and separate individuality. That belong to mind matters. For believe in God means believe in mind matters. There's emptiness. Emptiness is total hell, forever ignorance. Nobody can see it, therefore they can be deception. They can deceive. God will take care of you when you're also dead. God will let you go in this world and He take you back. Nobody do that. No such. When you meditate, you prove. 2 hours you're meditating, you prove that. That's why you're sitting. Also, all those sentient beings, like water in the river, sentient beings of the ignorance, floating water. That as you watch, you can save them while you're meditating. It's enormous. No begin, no end. This time-wise moving, floating mind world it's enormous. They end up the ocean water. Ocean water says still don't get it unless they self-attain prime enlightenment or supreme enlightenment. Prime enlightenment, earth matters. On earth we call prime enlightenment. Supreme enlightenment we call heaven matters. Both of them same enlightenment, no difference. When one enlightenment, we put in different word. Don't be deceptive.
Why are there different words then?
Huh?
Why do you call them different? Why does one it's the same?
Because same people get the idea. They have the idea, the different way that they try to set up. Different idea ways to set up. One God will take care of you. Otherwise, God army go with punch your neck.
But say
Same thing.
Earth,
the ideas. Yes.
Earth store bodhisattva,
Earth store bodhisattva.
prime enlightenment or supreme enlightenment.
This, of course, all the 4 bodhisattvas, God matters. Everyone, God. This God, unless supreme enlightenment, we don't call it. That's God.
Got it. So that's the prime enlightenment for Earth store bodhisattva.
Prime enlightenment, it all belong to 4 bodhisattvas.
What is the difference in understanding between prime enlightenment and supreme enlightenment?
You understand? Prime enlightenment on happening only on form world, earth. Earth is form.
That's why I thought of Earth store.
Right. Yeah, that's why earth store called. But you digging out ground, the oil comes, gold comes, silver comes, bronze comes, everything on the earth. Well, we're cultivating from soil and agriculture, all food comes, every kind of, also all kind of herbs comes. This essential prescription matters. Everything's earth contained. Therefore, prime enlightenment is happening on earth. But when you have eagle eyes, you can see everything. Your spiritual eye is Buddha nature, enlightened nature. Who made that? You did it.
That's my problem with trying to differentiate between 2 levels of enlightenment.
Not 2 level, same, one. Earth form is emptiness. There's no discrimination. Earth and heaven, no difference. Any discrimination, that means you're not great mirror face in that, great mirror in that, four wisdoms. One, there's absolutely nobody there. Mirror face, all the mirror. This. Second, no discrimination. Nobody, God higher, human lower, heaven higher, hell lower. Not such things. Those forms are all dissolved. Yeah. And the third, the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas, observation, Nirvana observation, called. They're called Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas. And the earth store Bodhisattvas. And switch on, switch off, still gain. And switch off, you still gain. Switch on, you still gain. Depends on what you want to do. But daytime, you switch on for light, you don't gain anything, you lose. You know, tap gold and be quiet, give you pills. When you understanding those things, basically, earth and heaven, emptiness and form, they are same. That's first part. Form is emptiness, then first part we don't. They are hell matters. And emptiness form, that's enlightenment matter. That's why earth you can have representing, you have an eagle eye. Eagle eye, that's why American government has lower house, higher house. You know, that's one 8 earlier consciousness, one roof and two rooms underneath. That's called the lower house, higher house. And the higher house, the Freeman logo says, eagle logo they use it. Because this earth matters. On earth matters, spiritual eye opening is representing as earth. Eagle statue matters. Representing. It's not 5 eyes. Physical eyes, divine eyes, wisdom eyes, Dharma eyes, Buddha eyes, enlightened eyes. 5 eyes, eagle eyes. That's you gotta know that this belongs to earth. Heaven matters. One flower has 5 petals. That means same eagle eyes. But this only for heaven with you. You on 339. 33 heaven called 339. That's homeland, your homeland. That's permanent. But 3 means triple emptiness, 3 kayas, 4 wisdoms. That's a 3 part. That's heaven matters.
So the prime enlightenment, sorry I'm stuck on this, but the prime enlightenment of Earth Store Bodhisattva, it's the same as the supreme enlightenment, but that's just, he just chooses to focus on it? Is that what it meant?
It's
on
part
that part
of the 52 stage of the enlightenment. They tried. United States started 50 state and 5 zone time, and that's got one thought, one consciousness. That's start with. That's earth matters. Without this earth matters, if there is 5, one polarized 5 pedal, they're talking about, you can't do it. You're standing.
Because you have to have the 50 states. You have to have
You have to have human body.
the form.
Form of
Yes,
body.
okay.
Form is 4 elements. With 6 consciousness. 6 consciousness 3 times, right? One root is your inside here, and your self, senses, and the perception. The 18 will take a tour because brain goes 3 times. There's 16 straight cut with in front of White House. Get it? That's a Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Nirvana, highly beautiful mind with attained enlightenment called Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas. Always giving away, offering, not possessing. Obama giving away, this giving away, junior college free tuition, giving, offering. It's not possessing. It's the same thing. He's doing his power. He has power.
It's not his to give.
No details. Details very, very expensive.
That's the problem I have with using America as an example. America's in rapid decline.
Democracy is started with democracy, the foundation, but who operates the difference?
Yeah, but it's personal.
Yeah, when same car, who is the driver, who is the owner, it depends on them is difference.
But is it really democracy? I think what Andy just said is a point. It's each of us has to do it ourselves, whether or not we're in a democracy or whether we're not in a
You
communist state.
included, according to exercise. Everybody included. Nobody leave behind.
But it's only one. It's either on or off.
If say one is not correct, one turn into dictators.
Oh,
It's just on. It's not one. It's just on.
On.
It's on.
Yes.
But on. But that's what he means, I think.
Right.
Yes.
It's on.
On. That's correct.
Then all these layers in numerical
Right.
are meaningless.
Most
confusing,
people,
too.
yeah, they start with voting, selecting leaders. That's the big problem. In order to manipulate voting people, they give all kind of, they suggest, I'll do if you vote for me, I'll do something. Promising, That's usually go, empty check. That's sometimes too much. That's why it make imbalance.
That raises a good question. In Buddhist temple, how the abbot usually gets selected?
Abbot
Gets selected. Yeah, how the leader in
one
Buddhist
who enlightened or
society.
not. Number one who senior who choose. But number two, enlightenment very important. Eagle eye or one flower has 5 petals. That's important. Without that, they fight over. It's almost
Fight over.
fight over the almost cut the neck off. they do.
But if they're fighting over it, then they're not enlightened.
Of course not. Never be harmed each other.
So when you have multiple disciples, all are enlightened. Which one you choose?
Enlightenment always. When you enlighten, you can see, you can understand. You are not enlightened, you just stand in lines.
Standing lines.
Yeah,
Sleeping lines.
the line. Which
I'll say
line?
the line. Okay.
Right line or left line? Middle line.
You want the express line.
Yeah, people go with who is popular, I go line up. That's emotional.
So, just to sort of expand on what Andy was saying, the analogy that you make with the United States and democracy, it's just an analogy, right? I mean, it's an analogy.
Yeah, that's the basic. I'm talking on the basic foundation.
to-
No, who operates this, I don't care. People operate always. No matter who they are people. Not animals they operate. Sometimes animal operates too.
But it was the individuals that made the U.S. It wasn't one person's decree or one form. It was the people that were willing to fight for it, commit
Yeah,
to it.
one who has using four wisdom at the same time. Great mirror wisdom.
Because the one thought, the
One thought.
the one
One
thought.
thought with it. That's called what Buddha considered as enlightened.
So I guess maybe we the idea of America.
Idea
the one
means
thought.
it's a knowledge, Maharaj.
Yeah,
But I mean, just as an example. But, I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, but
always, even though you're in silence, you can do activating with four wisdom at the same time. When you even you talk with knowledgeable, technological talk, we don't consider that. That's emotion front. Emotion front, always mindfulness, same thing. Mindfulness or believe in emptiness, believe in God, the same, no difference. Yin is always mindfulness.
Master Shin, is it because when you do the mindfulness and when you believe in something, is it because you're creating duality? You're not embracing all, but you're separating, you're creating.
It's not separate. You're not harmed. You're not trying to possessive. You're not, try to disturb someone's life. Leave it. Whatever they say, leave it alone. They want it go their way, so fine. But they will return to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And there's a lot of suffering comes with it. Problem comes with them. I must have something wrong. But that time, kind of too late. When you realize that I'm deeply wrongdoing, mindfulness I'm doing wrong way, they realize that too late to return it. Because human has a limited time. That time you try to return it on the way, return on the way, they disappeared.
Gotcha. Thank you.
This mindfulness, emptiness, both of them are hell called. Those called in mindfulness. United States, there are a lot of mindfulness practitioners. They are present hell. Emptiness is eternal hell. Both of them. The galaxy minds. When you're born with body, it's galaxy minds. Born with your great wisdom matters. There's no birth. Daylight, there's no birth, no death.
I have a question. In most of the sutras, when they talk about the Buddhas manifesting in different forms and emanations, that to me is arising, but there is no arising. How does the Buddha manifest then?
The only you have spiritual power, called six of spiritual power. All beings on all planets, the whole stars going on. This is one who enlightenment, Nirvana Kayas, this spiritual power.
But there is no arising. It was already there then, right?
Right. Of course, you are immobilized, but you make it showing up forms,
All forms.
enormous.
So
Just
all
like-
possible manifestations are already manifested,
Already.
And they're
no
not
begin
there.
already.
and they're not there. And there's no essence.
If there's I, you just flunk. So.
Right.
If there's a Dharma, you flunk too. You have your, I'm a middle way. Chinese called middle way. Middle way is flunk too. No such thing.
There's no way.
Just the on.
No way.
Yeah, definition of definition of the God means 4 stages.
Right.
Already pretty much. Buddha says like that nobody can argue about it. When you understand it, that you just keep silent, keep going. No harm to yourself, no harm to anybody else. You're enlightened.
But those manifestations are the use of energy.
All like energy in wood, fire energy.
It's already there.
Already there, but if there is, you're wrong. There's no, you're wrong too. The mind, the same thing. In our body, we use your mind, consciousness. If there is mind, you're wrong. There's no mind, you're wrong too. Both of them. When you to be right, you gotta be enlightened.
I've been reading this book by Nagarjuna.
Nagarjuna,
Yeah.
It was very, I think what you're talking about here.
Iron Sutra, yeah. He's the founder of Iron Sutra.
Right.
Unable to thinking, and then he got acting. That's 100,000 forms, songs they came out. That's Nagarjuna started. 14th patriarch. He's the only one Bodhisattva among the 33 patriarchs.
Oh, the whole line?
Whole line, Margasepa to Chinese is 33, 33 patriarchs among them. Only Nagarjuna is Bodhisattva representing.
Representing.
Yeah, representing.
And it's called Nagarjuna because he was the one that rescued the Kuan Yin Sutra from the Nagas, right?
Nagarjuna is absolutely, he was a Nagarjuna, he was
Right.
Buddha Sakamuni.
That's right.
Oh,
500 years later he shows up.
Interesting.
And then from Nagarjuna to Bodhidharma is same thing. Another 500 years later, 1,000 years later, he shows up. Bodhidharma is not Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma is Buddha Sakamuni. He shows up and tried Chinese emperors don't do dictators, turn to democracy. They didn't listen. No listen. Therefore, Chinese has 1,200 years. There a lot of suffering, the problem. The Japanese armies come getting Chinese emperor neck off, and the small British comes took Hong Kong for 100 years. Not that. So many other problems they had, and now there's an economic boom in China. Too much pollution, polluted air and the water and all the packaging food, everything is very uncontrolled,
Dirty.
out of control. But the economic boom is. That's the way you make money.
yeah, it's a trade-off.
Also, those are, if the Chinese people, the democracy started, they never sailing their own people to United States. Railroad work, the Chinese government sold their own people to United States as slave. No, democracy never sell people. Even child they didn't sell.
At least till 1863.
Yeah, that's improved. Those could improve. They are not collectively accepted Bodhidharma. So Dharma. Dharma is Dharma. Truth.
They came and built the railroad, is that right?
Huh?
They came and built the railroad, is that right?
Yeah, railroad work.
Irish?
No, well, San Francisco. They came
Oh
to
yeah,
San
United
Francisco.
States is
That gold mine, right?
canal
That's-
water railroad first. Second is merely metal railroad started. That time a lot of work to do. Therefore, they need workers. They buy from foreign country. Population of Chinese number one whole earth. Therefore, they bought from them, and Chinese government sold them. That's not democracy.
Naraguna was Indian, huh? Indian.
Now, of course, yes.
And
Indian.
did Buddhism leave India before?
Of course, Buddhism is the Calcutta. There's a Sanskrit university, and early centuries. But they're all in India's whole, the top brain young people, they're attending it, and then the Muslims comes, this comes, destroyed everything, killed everybody. Therefore, that's disappeared.
I know Carlos likes him. He told me, I haven't read Naraguna, but what is his most significant insight teaching Naraguna?
Emptiness. Emptiness.
Emptiness.
Unable to thinking,
Unable to think.
brain,
Unable.
not brain. Brain is thinking. Meditation means thinking
Yeah.
of.
Right.
Unable to meditate it, you attain enlightenment first.
If you're unable to meditate,
Right.
Yeah.
You don't think you can attain enlightenment. You think you can.
and that's the problem with mindfulness
Right.
meditation.
Meditation
Thinking
means
meditation.
it's philosophy matters.
Yeah.
That's the help.
But it's extremely popular in this country. And it's
Yes.
the only
Extremely
meditation.
discounted, destroyable.
What are we going to do about it?
New generation
We have to
comes.
rise up against
to
it?
this.
You're right.
There is no rising.
There's no rise.
That was his other
So
teaching,
We're
is
just
there's-
going to
there's
sit
no
here on
rising.
our cushions and let the country fall apart.
I think
Mindfulness meditation.
his
Well, think about this. The the deficit of the United States is so big, almost you sell whole country, you're unable to pay. Numbers so high.
There's a book club meeting in Tacoma Park today on this book, and it's about mindfulness meditation.
Oh, yeah.
That's not real.
I
Real
read the book.
happiness,
Yeah.
there's no such things.
Yeah, I know, but this,
Real or, not real, also not.
this is the kind of
Well,
stuff
this-
that's going on in this country in terms
This
of
country.
meditation. It's thinking meditation.
We call it as a hell. Go to hell. We
Should I
don't
go
have to
there
say.
and tell-
Go.
should I go
They are
there
in
and
hell.
tell them that?
They are already in
Tell
hell.
them that they're all,
Tell them real happiness is hell.
that's what's going on.
But Nagarjuna, I think his main teaching is what you've been saying here is not emptiness, not emptiness, or
That's right.
not time, not on time, but or not in,
Emptiness or
on
non-emptiness,
time.
both of
On,
them.
yeah.
Now, I think
Sunyata.
he does mention the concept of the double emptiness, which is from Master Shin. We talk about triple emptiness.
Right.
Right.
Triple.
Well, the
It's
on-
the emptiness of emptiness.
That's
That's what
right.
he says.
Well, isn't
And that
it-
you cannot get attached to it either.
Right, and that not attached is the triple
Right.
emptiness,
Yeah.
what the Master Shin talks
Yeah.
about. That's what I found to be so striking about.
American meditators self-drag into hell. That's what American is. Modern American is.
They have a DVD to tell you how to
TV,
do
it doesn't matter, DVD.
how to go to
Hell on DVD.
how to go to hell.
Hell on DVD. Actually, I read that book. It's pretty light. Actually,
Pretty, yeah, it's like,
it's nothing there.
it's like. When someone comes up to you and says, you've been doing this Zen meditation for a long time, you seem pretty peaceful, I'm suffering, can you help me? What do? Leave them alone? Do you try to help someone that
Of
asks?
course.
You leave them alone?
Why leave it alone? If they are asking,
If they ask,
enlightenment first. Don't looking for real happiness. Looking for something, that means you're all set, mind already there. Therefore, you are huggable. If there's mind, huggable. There's no mind, you're stupid enough. Don't touch it. That means it.
did you get that, Daniel? You can explain it to me once.
She can.
If you're looking for something, you're already hooked.
Yeah.
If
That's
they're
why you
looking-
sit without
If
expectation.
somebody comes to you and says, help me, I'm suffering, what do you do?
I don't,
Of course, you can help it.
yeah, we try to help them, but there's no way I can personally alleviate their suffering. I mean, if they have they got a broken arm, you take them to the doctor or something.
Usually, Zen Master say,
There's no
drop it,
Drop it, yeah.
Drop it.
Drop it.
drop it.
There's no suffering.
There's a mind, drop it. There's no mind, drop it. Right? That's very simple as you teach. You don't have to talk it too much. Just you're parallel or up and down, or cross. Yeah. This means earth. This means heavenly. Both of them are hell.
Cut it off.
Yeah, you can get out from both of them. Time matters, and emptiness matters. Both of them get out. Galaxy matters. Galaxy is hell medicines. Very simple way of teaching. Very simple way of being silent.
So I
Not
hardly
true.
like to talk about my personal life, but it's actually pretty relevant to what we're talking about. I have a cousin that she has cancer. She's in the 40s, and she sent me email saying, "Can you help me?"
Yeah.
And I just said, "Drop it, dropped it." And initially she didn't understand it, but then she sent an email saying, "You know what? Now I understand what you're saying, you know." And she's feeling better now.
Really? I didn't
She went through the
understand.
chemo, and she's actually doing a lot better. She started to worry.
Yeah, one who almost dying, drowning in the water, they need to say help. Only word would help. Whoever look at that person dies, I look at better than I save him. Not your choice, but both of them karma-wise, samsara-wise.
So you just need to save the children.
Your own parajana, right away you can help right away. The person never say help. Before say help, you can save it.
Actually, Four Noble Truths is very universal answer to all these
This is-
questions, right?
Really like cross, a cross.
Cross.
And the samsara life, and already
Right.
nirvana life.
Right.
They are one same body, no difference. But Four Noble Truths of Buddha preaches, disciples are unable to digest it. That's why he goes one step down, 12 Kosaladi preaching 12 years.
Right.
Actually, a person who had a suffering and came out to you or someone else help, actually the best moment to let person understand what enlightenment is. And
Four
motivation
Noble
comes.
Truths, if you know Four Noble Truths right away, you don't have to teach much, but you just go with it. Same with the practice, meditating all the time. When you first time I come in, it's the first time I tried the same with Four Noble Truths. It never works because there was already mindfulness is sitting there. Therefore, in order to break down mindfulness, you have to tell Kosaladi as emptiness.
Right.
Form is emptiness. That talk on and on.
Yes.
Still, I'm still going. But still, people got a lot of doubting. That they think we have mind, everything. Mind means if there is mind, you belong to hospital. Also, you belong to prescriptions. Also, you belong to psychologists.
Yeah.
That's all the dysfunctioning. That's not working. That's hell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a prime enlightenment. This point.
Right. That's right.
But isn't it a matter of explaining the dysfunction of the mind?
Dysfunctional mind is there is mind dysfunctioning. There's no mind dysfunctioning too. Both of them, because they are dualities.
That's where the dropping comes.
Most people say, "I'm in no mind. I have no mind." That's stupid enough. Unable to smell. No smell. Very last point. Heaven and human smell. You can smell. You can right away. Smell means highly intuitive. Highly intuitive. Beyond you see form. Beyond you can read it right away. That's called able to read someone's mind, anybody's mind, any form's mind at all. Mind means on form. Mind means time linking, time processing. Nanosecond, that's mobilize. Mobilize is time matters.
So-
immobilize, you say,
So dropping mind then is the same as on justice.
on justice. Yeah. If you don't like it, one who is killing people, they stop it, drop it. They don't do it. Sooner or later they end up justice. Policemen wouldn't be quiet. They go come up to take him. And the handicaps, handicaps, those they unable to think right. They unable to move right. So you see handicap, you like to help, but the handicap means they have license to be handicapped. The license is show that you're not occupied their space. Yeah. You pay fine. That those handicaps previous their lifetime, you can tell they are science. They are engineers too.
So that's my future. That's my future. Is going to be handicapped.
Unless you're trying that's why you gotta get over it.
So I have about 30 more years, right?
You get the prime part of
Don't
it,
count.
so-
Don't count. Or the form world is mechanical, or the engineering, chemistry, anything formal. You study university, study in university, 2 decades. You're still counting centigrades. Yes. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah. Therefore, prime enlightenment is so important. Opening eagle eyes is important. Yes. And you can tell. Yeah, that's eagle.
Keep telling you, eagles don't flock.
Eagle is not that important. Eagle eye is important. Eye is enlightenment, daylight, yes.
But isn't that the message at the end? When you explained in the Four Noble Truths, the solution is yourself.
Always, no matter what is, yourself.
But that's the purpose of,
More than yourself, you have trouble.
but the solution is, to answer Jim, is to get them to meditate.
Is the what?
To get them to meditate, find yourself.
Well, everybody meditating anyway. No matter what is hearing, what sounds like it, and smell what smells like it, and you see what this tree or this moving animals or something going on.
That's using your mind.
That's mind matters.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Mind functioning, yes. Mind functioning is leave it alone, you end up hell. Already you're hell. Mind, there is mind, you hell. If there's no mind, you hell too. Both. The form is emptiness. You call it hazard. There's some writers, beware. Beware of dog.
But that's the mind matter that you have to overcome in meditation.
Yes,
Drop it.
meditation. Therefore, when they meditating, alone meditating, they want to come group meditating. Someone who's my friend, what they do, and they come sitting. Was no different. Sit down, no different. But inside, looking at it, their meditating philosophy is different way.
Right.
That's what German philosophers, French philosophers, American philosophers, meditators quite different. Everything depends on their culture. Culture means mind behavior, using mind differently. As long as there's mind going on, that's not it. Mind over. Nirvana first. When you understand your mind is nirvana right away, you get it. No hesitation.
You use the words of culture.
That's the point.
Right.
So, Master, you use the words of culture. Right now,
Culture.
The culture we are in is a mindful culture.
Mind.
And we need to create a mind-release culture. Mindful release culture. in a sense.
Mindfulness is, or culture matters, mind using. There is a mind.
Still-
If there is a mind, you are hookable. Fishing hooker, called the fishing. Fish by hook or fish by net. Fish by
Suffering.
shooting, or some fishing by putting in the chemistry, chemicals, killing. You pick the atom bomb, you put it in the atom bomb in the earth, and for instance, Hiroshima in Japan, they dropped the World War II going on, and look at the behind the earth. There's a lot of crippled people comes out. The soils, many years is unable to.
Still.
That's contaminated. Long time. The nature self contaminated. People using the chemistry matters. Our food, our house, our clothes, and everywhere. When you use it, everything, even soap, that's chemistry. So you cannot avoid it. No matter what, improved life, better life is more chemistry involved. That's kill yourself. Even our air is already, it's not clean air. We call it EPA. Therefore, when you're enlightened, you did all your job done. Well, top jobs. Cleaning up your mind. There is mind, there's no mind, both of them clean it up. We call the three poisons. Desire, anger, stupidity, that's clean that up. therefore, there's no mind. There's no more mind. That's enlightenment. Enlightenment means three poisons of mind let it out. So important. Eagle eye, and one flower has 5 petals. That's like a Hollywood old mirror. Hollywood old mirror is 2. Earth in eagle eye. Heaven is one flower has 5 petals. Look at the flag. Chinese flag is red fabric and corners yellow, 4 stars, big 1 star. That's heavenward. One flower has 5 petals. Chinese never look at Earth. Doesn't matter, Earth is contaminated. But United States start from 50 states with 5 zone time and 1 mind. That's 3 start with. All people live 50 states. They voting for leaders that they work in the government. Unfortunately, all this 90% of the Christianity or Catholics, they are operating. Therefore, country has over deficit. Too much money. Everybody go there. They're giving everybody, giving free, free food stamp, free education. Free ride, everything. Look at the Honda, they got the 700 million bucks fine.
Very cool.
They got it.
They got it.
You know, that much American government owe too much money in order to take it over something. Got damaged quite a bit. That's a modern, mindfulness working. That's what it is. Enlightenment work not that way. Everybody happy. Nobody paid fine. Nobody asked for it. They're already done with.
Nothing to ask for.
Right. Look at that. 2 brothers they killed in French. That's what a stupid guys is. The young age, they should be enlightened first, and then they chased out by policemen and they end up killing themselves. This army of this one God army, Al Qaeda means. No such things. No such thing as dictators in this world, or that world either. Any world, no dictators. Everybody's equality. No discrimination. Still real happiness.
Sorry?
Still real happiness.
Real happiness.
Yes.
In a book.
Yes.
That's mindfulness is.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness is the present health. Yeah, they are still health. Because they operate by their own mind. Your mind operates you in health. You operate mind, you're enlightened.
Right.
That's the difference.
So Master Shin, this 6 spiritual power, the spiritual power you mentioned in the past.
3 manifestation first.
Yeah.
Later 3 come naturally.
The spiritual power comes.
Yeah, number 1, normal leaking mind. Normal leaking. Time www dot mind leaking. The leaking mind. Yeah, that's mind leaking. Yes. That's a cyber website. So someone stealing. www triple emptiness. Triple emptiness with all done. And but they put in micro dot. Come. They ask for come. Information they want it. Everybody will steal it. The smartest young kid, they steal that. All the people, they don't. they know the way you end up. So a lot of people, the human body after finish the human body, they can go heaven. No way. Mindfulness, they're still in hell, and they never think about. They think about heaven quite a bit. Their thought is heaven. Mind is still there. They call it both of them hell. One in heaven is total hell. Mind is present hell. Both of them hell. Two hells. One hell is big enough.
This, I mean, prescription medication, psychotherapy, drugs, now people are going to this as a last resort, and this isn't going to work either. But this is very popular in America right now.
That's a very popular American hell.
Right.
You gotta be American enlightened, eagle eye first.
I agree with you. So we sit
American
here.
government asks for eagle eyes.
We sit here as elitist Zen meditators, and we've got the answer, and we're not sharing it. I think it's our obligation to get the good stuff out there in the world.
More, yeah.
Oh, you agree?
We say it's, that's okay, but that's still in hell. Or you like or dislike it, it just belongs to hell anyway.
We just enjoy the hell, I guess.
No, enjoy the hell, yes.
Next time.
We call the Last Supper. Eat well and die.
The Last Supper, too.
Yes.
Supper with
But isn't that indicative of the desire of the people to find another solution?
They can sell.
I mean, if basically they're abandoning Western
Right.
philosophy.
One who are deeply in faith, you believe deeply, you're enlightened naturally. Is that the deepest faith? There's no such thing as enlightenment. Believe in God is so ideal. So lazy people do that. Believe in enlightenment. That's the way you do for yourself. Believe in prime enlightenment.
But it's fair to say those people are on the path. They're on the path
Path.
of enlightenment. Yeah, they've come to
On the way.
realization.
On the way.
Yes.
On the way, they wouldn't survive. Because there's no such thing on the way.
Interesting.
Even nanosecond, give time, nanosecond, you leak out. Right? No such thing in enlightenment. On the way, pass. That's not correct.
Yeah, but you have to come to that realization
Instant enlightenment.
that your mind won't get you where you need to be.
No such things. Forever hell, of course. One thought of 50 ugly thought comes out. That's when 50 statements. One thought. One thought popping up 50 pieces. Therefore, before one thought rise, you gotta enlighten. Enlighten first. Nanosecond, micro thought. Before thought comes, you're enlightened.
But if you've been educated in Western society, right, you come to the conclusion at some point that you don't believe in the God, third person God, okay? You don't believe in Western philosophy as being a solution. And you start looking at things like real happiness for other answers. Those are people looking for an answer.
They're called expectation of happiness.
Expectation of happiness.
Or dissatisfaction with,
Well, expect it. That's your shallow faith.
The problem that I see here is actually the seeking. I mean, because of your karmic actions, right? So if you're seeking, you're still hunting dog. It's a realization that there is something more than seeking to cure your pain and suffering, right? And not everybody is actually ready for that.
but those people are moving forward. That's my point.
Well, but the thing is that some of them might make it, some might not make it.
Well, they'll all make it eventually.
Well, no, but I'm talking about now.
On the way, they're backward.
Right.
give them away. You know, swing, going on,
Right.
let it go, pop off very, very long way.
But I would suggest that there's really, that underpinning that, this whole discussion here now is that there is a process. And a process, and I would say there is no process.
If there's a process,
Yeah, there's no
too much
process.
in
The process
There's purpose.
of rejecting philosophy, the process
There's no
of
process.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's underpinning what you and Andy are saying, and I'm saying there's no process.
No, I'm just saying that. I mean,
No, I
the
think
question is
we're all
actually,
clear.
it's according to your karmic actions. I mean, and then you're ready or not. I mean, and then you get it like that.
There's
you don't
no
need to go
process.
through a process.
you start
Get a
from
certificate.
That's clear.
immobilize first.
Right.
When you immobilize in any nanosecond movement going on, forget it.
Right.
You cannot.
So there's real, I guess to sort of expand what I was saying is that there's really no causality either. There's no
If there's
causality.
causality, that's stupid enough to get it first.
You get here.
Karma is a cause.
Huh?
Karma is causality.
Karma.
Yes.
Oh, if there is karma, you're talking of the karma. When you talk of karma, your mind popping up
Right.
so much.
But it's a cause.
But only,
Well, that's what in the
only
Enlightenment
within the
is no karma.
samsara world though is it a cause. It's not,
Right.
there is no, in the essence.
Cause
There
the
is-
self, it's great mere face wisdom. Cause.
Right.
Yeah, cause self. Consequence comes, three kayas.
Precarious.
Yeah. Therefore, you don't have to move around. Immobilize first.
Right. No process.
If in process and mobilize going on, it's the out of territory.
That was the other thing I got out of that Nagarjuna book, was that there is no process, there is no essence to the process.
That was actually the time when he wrote that particular one. You know, that caused a lot of problem in Mahayana because people were thinking about the slow school, right? You have to
Right,
go through the
exactly,
process.
exactly.
And that's not what Bodhidharma said. Bodhidharma said, you know, you can get it like that.
There's no
Right.
process.
Bodhidharma, as soon as there's a koan called Bodhidharma come from India to China. Its answer is great pine tree in a courtyard, immobilized. If Bodhidharma moved to the India to China movement, you forget it.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
So, Master Shin, I think the question will come up. I understand that enlightenment is instant. It's instant realization. Doesn't rely on any
Faster
practice.
than
And
instant.
Exactly. Doesn't-
It's already there.
So someone will ask you,
Faster
so
than
what's the
instant.
meaning of practice then?
Practice.
Why we're still practice? Right, someone will ask you, why we're sitting there meditating? Why we're practicing? If enlightenment is instant realization.
Yeah. Most people, 99% of people, one who didn't know, I am free enlightened. Therefore, they start practice.
Right. Right.
So what
So are we
Jack
chasing our
wants to
tails?
do is practice to prepare you.
Is that what
for
we're
the
doing? We're
instant
chasing our
enlightenment.
tails.
Yeah,
If your
practice
approach is that,
I'm
yeah.
stupid enough to practice first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, everyone practice agree, acknowledge, enlightenment. That's why I
Therefore,
practice.
bright people that get in and meditating, before thought, they pop up, enlightened. And then you're sitting, you are not practicing, you are sitting for all sentient beings you're saving. Try to save it.
It's not the seeking.
It's not practice,
I
it's
see.
expressing.
It's not expectation.
Yes.
You just save
Expressing your enlightenment.
all those sentient beings like water in a river floating.
Yeah.
Just into the ocean. That water, you just stop it. There's no immobilized way, stop it.
And that's the difference between process and practicing. You can
Right.
practice because of all the sentient beings with no expectations and no,
Right,
hopes
no
of
such
gain.
thing, no giving any chance,
Right.
no chance, no on the way, no path,
You have to get in the river first.
no such thing in river. If there's water in the river, Potomac River names forever Potomac River, but flowing water is always fresh water, new water come.
Yeah.
The U.S. is primed to become the next manifestation of Zen. Okay? That's because there's a significant amount of dissatisfaction, which is expressed by those people looking for another answer.
Well,
I don't think it's dissatisfaction. I still don't believe that. I didn't
No,
come
no.
here because I wasn't satisfied with anything.
Well, you may not have, I
Those,
did.
those people, ego is so high, unable to go other ways. If there's
Egos,
mind,
yeah.
the ego means there's four categories. Number one, egoless. Number one, they don't go through it. Once the number one go through it, number two, easy enough. Number three is go. Number four, no such a separate individuality. You get through it. Like that's free. You get it.
Interesting.
So by realizing my enlightened nature, I save all sentient beings from suffering.
So I shouldn't go to nursing school, huh? I should quit now that I'm ahead.
If there is sentient beings, you are practicing. No such a thing, sentient beings.
There's no such a thing as sentient.
That's
Then
correct.
there's no such thing as suffering.
No such a thing as real happiness. If there is a real happiness, you just
There's no
step
such
on
thing as
toxic.
nothing.
Suffering is optional.
Buddha's whole life was devoted to it focus on suffering, huh?
No.
No. Oh.
No.
Neither way. On the Bodhi tree, he's transcended of the
Yeah.
time and no time.
But what led
Time
him
and
to the Bodhi
emptiness.
tree?
Huh?
What led him to the Bodhi tree was the realization of human
Bodhi
suffering.
tree is a definition of mind.
Right.
But there was no leading to the Bodhi tree. The Bodhi
Right,
tree,
no such thing.
there's no leading, there's no process. That's really
Bodhi
the
tree means
hard thing to give
Anuttara
up.
Samyak Sambodhi is Hollywood old mirror. You already presented that. And people, Buddhist people, who are slower people, they think they accept a different way. Try to accept it, that's too late. You are. No difference in between Buddha Sakamanya yourself. Absolutely the same. Different name, but same reality.
What did he stay for? I mean, I don't get the argument. I mean, he stayed for 40 years preaching.
That's right.
Okay. Well, who is he preaching to?
40 years, that many people, they never get it. They never transmitting from Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi.
Well, ultimately, they all get it.
No, you look at the Sariputara and then Mokkallana, Kasyapa. They all now they didn't get Anuttara Samyak
In this
Sambodhi
life.
And then the
transmitting.
In this life.
Huh?
In this life.
In
But
the
they're
future
still going to
life.
get it.
In the future life, they may get it. I think that's what
But there's no this life. What
There's no future life.
Past, present, future, no such things. If there is your past, there's a present, future going on. That's just like no difference. Real happiness.
If I could just say something about this, we talked earlier about all the things that could potentially be manifested, or are already manifested, but we seem to look to see if there's a link between them, and that's the problem. Is we look for a link, and
That's
there's
the
no
meditation.
link. Right, that's the meditation. Yeah, but there is no link.
If there's
just
a
appears to
meditation, that's the wasting time too much. But Zen meditation, you're enlightened already.
Yeah, I think a part of what you're saying is that people subscribe too much to the historical Buddha, and that was just one of the billions of manifestations.
Right.
He didn't have to go through this to be enlightened. He was already enlightened.
Right.
He was already so this
No
is just,
leaking mind, no catarrh hell, right? It's divine eyes.
Right.
Three
Yeah, but
three
he
manifestations.
didn't get there until he spent, I forget how many years, 6 years.
No.
He never spent 6 years.
No, he didn't spend any 6 years. That's exactly
That's the point. That potential, that manifestation was already manifested.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
putting the link together of him sitting there this moment and him sitting there that
we
moment.
humans actually
The infinite amount, it's really
We think
difficulty of
in linear
infinities.
terms.
We
Right.
think all
Thinking of linear
manifestations
terms.
are
Yeah.
infinite. And yet we put a link between them.
Where I see is looking at the same thing from two different perspectives. From enlightened one, saying there's no process. Everything I was just passing by was hallucination. But for unenlightened one, there's a way to get there. So I think we're looking at the same thing from different perspectives. The same thing, exactly. There's no conflict in it.
One thought, you can go
either way.
millions
Yeah.
Right.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
But before one thought, you are done. That you start from
Right.
50 state and 5 zone time and one thought. That's it. all three compact, called prime enlightenment. That's what it is.
Right.
And therefore, triple emptiness, three kayas, four wisdoms. That's 339. And the 119 better. One in the eagle eyes, another one flower has 5 petals. Yeah, that's the right Dharma Talk. No, heaven and earth. You're done. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then all those any books, even one half a books, quarter books comes out. It's on the way process. Most people, Bible one book is count. One book means you're in hell. Language and talking, yeah. Books means thinking, talking, and the languages.
If one gets attached to the books, but books can be, and language can be thought of as fingers pointing, huh? Like Buddha said, finger pointing to the moon.
If there's a finger, you cut off. Some people will cut off right away.
There's finger, you can.
That's true. I agree with you.
No
After you
thoughts,
see
no
the moon, you
no
cut off the
fingers,
finger.
right.
But you haven't seen the moon, you need a finger. Point at nothing, right?
No fun.
I think that's what James got. What's wrong with the finger? After you see the moon, you cut the finger. But
Yeah.
before you see the moon, you need a finger.
Right.
I think that's
Well,
I think
I don't know
we
if you
are-
need the finger.
We don't need
Even
argue. I
though
think
you
this-
don't point to the moon, you still see moon anyway.
Right, you don't need the finger.
But
to
the moon
see
is still there. Yeah.
You go,
Whether you like it or not, the moon is still there.
They're still sitting at the door.
No, that moon is not there. The moon is
suffering.
inside your heart.
okay.
Everyone just shut up.
Good talking. It's very nice. That'll work.
Don't use your hands.
Okay, next week.
Send beings on our brothers, we vow to save them. Desires are inexhaustible, we vow to end them. Our dharmas are boundless, we vow to master them. The Buddha's ways incomparable, we vow to attain it.
Thank you.
Thank you.